What's up, everybody? It's me, the Jester Gambler, again. Here for another quick tutorial, quick revamp tutorial, and this time it will be Sasori, our favorite redheaded scene kid. Um, Look, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. The more and more we get into this, like with Sasori, PTS Konkuro, and when I go to the anti-puppet video, puppets are just really unreliable. Puppets are just pure garbage. The only puppet that is reliable is Odo Konkuro. So I will say this as a disclaimer. If you're really wanting to learn puppets in a dead game like Naruto, just pick up Konkuro. Don't argue. Just pick up Konkuro. There's no reason to pick up any other character other than, like, if you do, pick up Sasori. And here we are with Sasori. So the only reason why people only pick Sasori in Storm 4 is because they love Sasori. That's it. There is no reason other than fan. Because he is pure garbage, hot shit in this game. If it wasn't for Shio's Awakening, I would argue, and I would definitely I would put Sasori over Shio if it wasn't for Shio's Awakening. I would put Shio number one, but Shio's Awakening is just too broken. So let's go talk about Sasori's what's kind of good about him. So the first thing is his grab. His grab is pretty fast. It has a pretty good hitbox. It has strike back, so you always want to use, when you're using supports, which we will go over that in the public support video, you always want to use strike backs. It also resets, and if you're able, like right here, again, my controller is broken, so I'm not able to do a lot of tilts. There's some of the functions I want to do. But you see, like right there, it was able to get a tilt in, which actually poisons, or if they sub, it can actually make them sub twice, which we will talk about that later. And when you see that tilt, it also, like I said, restands. It allows you to do a jutsu. Also, it allows you to add more pressure. It's just probably Sasori's best tool set in this game. And that's the sad part, because that grab is easily avoidable if you know what you're doing and know, like, if you stay calm and everything. Dude, Sasori is such a gimmicky character, and that's one thing I'm going to talk about now. Is Sasori is all about gimmicks. He is definitely the best puppet master to learn puppet control, learn prediction. Like right here, this is what a lot of top puppet players do. Sasori players do, is they like to move their puppet, kind of puppet control to their face, and try to predict them where they're going to roll, and then grab them when they're standing. So that's what a lot of people do. What you saw me do is I did a dash, then grab again. I'm just more aggressive with my Sasori, so that stuff I do, like that right there. I do more stuff like that. I guess the next thing we can talk about is decency is his tilt. His tilt, you never want to finish the hit if you're going to do something like this, right? Like if you're going to just add a little pressure or a little nonsense or a little gimmick there and here, you never want to finish it unless, like, they sub. And if they sub, you're just like, okay, bet, and then finish it. Or basically every time you want to, like, just do the one hit where he just slashes up, and then either do a ninja dash or move side. But like where his puppet, where you saw that second hit where the arms come out and the poison comes out, that can make him sub twice in place. It's pretty good, and it has two hitboxes, so a lot of people don't see that, and it will always poison you no matter what, unless you're blocking. And even then, afterwards, you could just do Sasori could do a jutsu and just grab you. That's what Sasori is really known for, is just grabbing and his grabbing gimmicks. Also this too, Sasori is the best puppet to learn your puppet control, learn puppet gimmicks, and learn the substitution technique, because he can do this where I know where my puppet is at through the strings and all that. But I could do this, and this is pretty effective. This is what a lot of top Sasori players do a lot too, is they like to hide their puppet from the stage. They like to, of course, have big stages like this. This is the biggest stage, because this really works for Sasori players, because they like to go behind the stage and out of sight of mind, spam the Shuriken, spam the jutsus, occasionally the ult, which we will talk about in a second. And it's because Sasori can get away with it free compared to Konkuro and Shio. So yeah, Sasori is pretty good on that front. I guess another thing we could talk about is his Shuriken. His Shurikens are pretty straightforward Shuriken. They can be pretty good for aggressive, like I said earlier, for the gimmicks of being out of the stage. Against Puppet Masters is definitely one of the best Shurikens, honestly, because it's just straightforward and it knocks down the puppet easily. So yeah, it doesn't really poison, sadly, like Conqueror's, and poison is, we already talked about that in the Conqueror's video, but it's okay. Um, so yeah, I really wouldn't recommend using it. I mean, I recommend using it. I use it a lot when I play sorcery, but like, don't use it too reckless. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is his air combo. His air combo was really, maybe before the 2017 patch when he had that infinite, it was really good. But now it's okay. It has an okay hitbox. That normally does hit. For some reason that didn't though. So interesting. It has an okay hitbox, but it has pretty damn good damage. And it has good pressure and cancels into it. So it's one of his best move kits, but it allows him to be mobile easier too. So that's all I really gotta say about his air combo. His air combo's okay. So like that you see again. And then I think here I talk about his ult or his combos. I think I talk about his combo here. Combos are just trash. Yep, I do. His only really good combo is that up combo, which has an infinite. But the problem with it is that sometimes happens if you're not experienced enough. I did that on purpose to show, because I've seen even my students do that a lot. When you are in the corner on the edge or the stage like that, your up combo will never land. And finally, the last big problem is if you're not fighting as a puppet master, that up combo actually can get Shuriken through, and they can knock down your puppet and just give an advantage and put you on a disadvantage. So the only way to avoid that is by doing that ult fast. Other than that, it's not a reliable thing. Here we are talking about the ult. Like I said, Sasori is the only character in the game that can legit sub safely and ult and still hit you with this ult while you sub, and the opponent will never see it coming, unless they know the puppet gimmicks. So yeah, that ult is a very gimmicky, really good substitution technique thing, and it works on noobs and mid players, but it doesn't work on high tier players. That's really all I gotta say, I guess. I mean, Sasori is the best puppet to really learn puppet control, substitution technique, and gimmicks with, because that's what Sasori is really good at in this game, honestly. Is you have to be really gimmicky with him to even play with him, and you have to really be good at prediction. You have to be pretty good at control of the field. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about his Awakening, because his Awakening is garbage. His other combos are garbage, unless you're going to talk about the 3-hit combo. The 3-hit combo, if you do it fast enough, you could do a tag and do an ult, do a grab, do whatever, but it's still not even worth trying to even do a combo. Sorcerer's combos are just garbage. Like I said, his Awakening is garbage. It's not worth it. His dashing is okay. He's definitely not a puppet to learn puppet dashing with. He's definitely the puppet to learn control and substitution technique with, but not dashing. Leave those to the Conquerors, not Sasori or Shio. And that's basically all I gotta really say. I mean, there's that jutsu, like I said, you can go half the map and you can gimmick people and shit like that. So the jutsu is pretty good. That's basically all I really have to say about Sasori. I think Sasori is just garbage in this game. They really did a lot to him, and he's really gimmicky, honestly. And people can argue with me, but anyone who's top tier and knows Sasori's tricks and gimmicks and all his lag inputs and bullshit would know how to defeat him. That being said, the next 2 matches, you guys are going to see me get absolutely destroyed by Sasori players. That's because I haven't played the game in 2 years, and I just wasn't thinking and paying attention to playing the game. But these 2 Sasori players are really fucking good, and let's talk about how they play Sasori and what they did absolutely beautiful, and how you should be playing Sasori too. So here we are, we got our first match, and you've seen him in a couple of my other videos, but his Sasori is just really good. He has really good control, really good dash, really good movement, and really good substitution technique. The fact that he just absolutely destroyed me in this game, and I had to make this video involving this fight. Yes, both of the fights are Puppet Master versus Puppet Master, but you basically see how Sasori is supposed to could be gimmickly used and could be used in different ways, especially for someone like me who is inexperienced in this. I don't want to say inexperienced. I'm old. Yeah, I guess inexperienced. Like this guy has been playing obviously like the 2 years I have not been playing, so he's a lot more sharp and a lot more uh, on it than I am, and he's doing an amazing job taking utilization of that. And that's the whole point of Sasori, especially Puppet Masters in general. But that's the whole point of Sasori. In Sasori, you really want that control. You really want to learn your opponent's weakness, and once you learn your opponent's weakness, you utilize that weakness through and through until they realize it, and then you're just like, okay, let's change it up. That's Sasori in a nutshell, and this guy plays it just right. Um, So yeah, now let's talk about Sasori real quick. So the history of Sasori, Sasori has always been the best Puppet Master since Storm 2. People can argue, I guess, Generations, PTS Konkuro was the best, but I would, yeah, PTS Konkuro was the best, but I'm still going to put Sasori as definitely top 4, if not top 5 in that game, because, I mean, there is Mask Man that I think just shits on Sasori. But Sasori can definitely counter PTS Konkuro better than most characters can because he is a puppet. He can counter other Sasori players. He was pretty good with the Minato run. Donzo didn't really bother him. 10-10, if you knew what you're doing with the matchup, Sasori won most of the time, if not all the time. But if you didn't know what you're doing, you would lose. Gara was a little difficult for Sasori, but he can manage. It wasn't so bad. If you master that tilt and the unsellable Shuriken grab, that Sasori was just so broken in general, and also that awakening was just so good. And Shio support and was just so broken in that game. Balance support. So let's talk about that real quick. So back in Naruto Storm 2, Generations, and 3, and you can even see it in Rev and in Storm 4, which we will talk about that in the advanced puppet tutorial. There's a thing called the Shuriken follow, or I think today, or not Shuriken follow, I'm sorry, the Shuriken glitch, which you basically do is when your puppet is guarding, you can do a certain input and a Shuriken comes out. And Sasori was the best for this. Like, I mean, the best. He had the most straightforward Shuriken, the tracking was good, the damage was amazing, and he had an unsellable grab with it. So he could literally do it, and then if you're fast enough, grab, and no one can sub it. And if you do an air jutsu right after, you couldn't sub it. So that's like basically a whole combo damage just by a Shuriken glitch combo, guard, throw, and, jutsu. I mean, it was that easy and that simple back then. I'm not saying like it was that easy to use Sasori because like yeah, Sasori is pretty easy to pick up to a degree back then, but you still have to have skill. And when you fight other Sasoris, it's definitely like, man, Sasori matches back then were like. Same with older Konkuro versus Sasori or something like that. When you see an older Konkuro or when you see a good older Konkuro or a good Sasori back in those days, it was nothing but like machine guns. Like it was literally shuriken. Like it was like the puppet masters were like X characters or square characters these days. Like it was like playing against a Data or a Tintin, but you were playing as puppet masters. It was crazy. And Sasori was amazing, especially with his tilt being just as good as it. Like right there, you see that sub. I shouldn't have subbed right there. That was just dumb of me. But yeah, he was amazing back in Storm 2, Generations, and 3. He had an amazing awakening. The tilt was amazing on pressure. He had an amazing jutsu. He had an amazing combo. He had an amazing grab, and he had an amazing Shuriken glitch. But after Rev, they kind of really nerfed puppets with the Shuriken glitch because the counter takes over the Shuriken glitch. And for the input, and then just over time with the inputs, like he wasn't bad in Rev, like, but he was pretty easy. Like honestly, anyone could pick him up. It wasn't like God, like he wasn't like didn't take it like skill like it did back then. And but yeah, Rev wasn't his best game still because like Shio and Konkuro was really good in those games too. And then yeah. That's basically Sasori in a nutshell. It's just like he was the best puppet master, and then he just fell from grace so hard. I mean, so this game really butchered him like so fucking bad. Like was no mercy fucking him in the ass tonight. So here we are. We're going to see a different Sasori player and how he plays. He plays a little bit different with Sasori, but it's still really good and it's still very interesting, neither least. And he played Sasori very well. And just like the other person, Art of Poetry, he plays Sasori extremely well. He saw my weaknesses. He took explode of that. I would say this one is not as experienced as the other one is, and it has better control and everything. But this one definitely saw some of my weaknesses and just took advantage of it. And definitely put some gimmicks and all over, my plays. So pretty good prediction game and pretty good little text that he did too. So definitely different gameplay, uniqueness of style and play style, but love either or. Um, so that being said, what's the main problem with Sasori, and why do I keep saying he's just real hard garbage in this game? He's not reliable. He doesn't have anything that's 100% guaranteed with him. Like with Older Conqueror, I can guarantee an air combo, right? You know what I mean? Like I can guarantee that. Shio, if I awaken, I can guarantee at least half of a bar of your health is going to go down. 100% guarantee that, right? Sasori has nothing in that, right? Like Sasori doesn't have he's not good at chasing. He's not really good at pressuring. He's okay at gimmicks and predicting your opponent and all that, but if your opponent doesn't know what he's doing with a Sasori, or if he's inexperienced against puppet masters or puppet users in general, you're going to win, obviously. But Sasori is just, he breaks down too quickly, his guard breaks. You have to have really good, like, I think even better chakra control than even Shio, because Shio at least has other resources where Sasori doesn't. Shio at least has her up combo and has that Shuriken follow where it can at least add some type of gimmicks. But whereas Sasori, he doesn't have anything like that. He's just purely gimmick, purely prediction based, purely this and that. And like I said, there's just nothing 100% reliable on him. His tool set isn't bad, but it isn't the best. And the fact that you have to rely on supports a lot is just really annoying too. Like, he is definitely the puppet master that relies on the most support other than PTS Conqueror. Shio, yeah, but Shio can also kind of survive on her own a little bit. Older Conqueror definitely survive on its own. Easy. PTS Conqueror can, yes and no. Definitely better than Sasori, but PTS Conqueror against other team fights, though, needs that extra support, whereas Sasori absolutely needs a strike back. Like, you cannot play Sasori without a strike back. At all. You cannot play Sasori at least without some type of close range character like a Naruto or Pain. Because if you are open and if you are punished for you being open, it's going to hurt. You're going to get a lot of damage to you. Sasori can't really deal with pressure at all in this game. Like, he is horrible against pressure. His awakening is just garbage. It's so glitchy. It's unreliable. It goes off center quickly. His combo doesn't even finish, and it doesn't even. You can't even so with Older Conqueror and his awakening, you can at least, do a jutsu D-pad right after. But Sasori, you can't. There's a lag. You can't even do a D-pad right after. So his combos are unreliable. His infinite combo, which is supposed to be the down combo, was nerfed. So then his up combo was supposed to be it, and his up combo you can easily shuriken right through it. So yeah, it's not fun. Sasori is just really not fun in this game when you're playing against a Minotaur runaway, or people who run away, or people who really are aggressive, right? Sasori just isn't fun, and it's not because Sasori isn't fun to play, it's because Sasori has nothing in his tool set to deal with any of that. You have to be really gimmicky, like I said, gimmick reliant on your supports and prediction reliant. And at times it's really not worth it. All that extra work to learn puppets, learn this and that, and now you're playing a character that will basically guarantee you a lose if you're not experienced enough, or the person doesn't know how to use or how to play against Sasori, or at least knows Sasori's bullshit. Because like you see me losing here, but I know because I'm flipping out, and like I said, I haven't played in a few years, so these people have a lot more, I would say, experience than me on this. Because they're a lot more sharp and all that. But like I know Sasori weaknesses. I know you're not supposed to sub when he does those shurikens. I know you can easily just walk away from those shurikens and easily walk away from his grab. You can easily walk away from a dash. Like as soon as he dashes you and it hits, you can literally just walk off, and it won't hit you. It won't even bother you. So yeah, there's just so many problems with Sasori, but that's this tutorial. It's me, the Jester Gambler. I'm heading out, and that's what I got for Sasori, basically.